When you think of soul, you think of this person.
Yes.
Because, oh my Lord.
She sings. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to introduce you to our second verse. She's a super spectacular vocalist from the city of Chicago. How many of you guys love the city of Chicago as well, and some of the great artists that come from Chicago?
Chicago's been so good to us as a group, but I think Chicago's just been good to us all as it comes down to music. And this person is not only a great artist, but comes from a generation of good artists, and she really is quite amazing and has done so many things in so many parts of our industry. But more than anything, she is consistently giving you excellent vocal, excellent music, and just all of her heart and soul every time she opens up her mouth. It is an absolute honor to finally have her here at Kindred Presents. And I want you all here in Philadelphia and everyone at home to give a great round of applause for Syleena Johnson.
And she pretty. She got on her dress. Looking real nice, nice, nice. Yeah. We didn't mention that she's also the co-host of TV One's Sister Circle in the morning.
Sister Circle Live.
Sister Circle Live. I'm
Sister
sorry.
Circle Live.
Yes, indeed. We were going to get all the way into it.
Yes.
Because really, you do so much. Oh my gosh. You've really made your mark in every part of the industry, and then some.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to see this, because I think sometimes they associate these types of accomplishments with artists that we are seeing ad nauseum.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if we do what we do and we do it well, we can really take those same steps and put them towards everything. Yep. I would love to know, even before we get into your background, what is your motivation for all of the many things that you do? Like, what makes you, what drives you to make your career so diverse?
That's a great question, Asia. Well, for me, first of all, God, okay, that's first. And just knowing that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and just being taught that as a child, you know what I'm saying? Your mother and father instill these things in you. But as a woman, we are oftentimes treated as if we can't do things. And let me explain, well, if you're a mother, you can't do this.
Right.
Oh, well, since you married, you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Or since you have a job, you can't have kids, Right. So society likes to program us, or, put it out there that we can only be one-dimensional. Right. But, so for me, I just always felt like, but I can do it all in this lifetime, because you only get one. So all the things, and I watched Denzel Washington one time. He was in a speaker's, he was doing a workshop.
Speaker, right?
Yeah, no, he was doing a workshop for actors, and he was like, whenever God puts something in your body, he puts a dream in your spirit, that's his confirmation that that's what you're supposed to be doing. So I get all these different confirmations. So I just be going through, trying to follow the confirmations, I just feel like you can do it all in this lifetime, and I don't want to be 80 years old and just saying to myself, dang, I could have did that, or I should have done that. So nothing beats a failure but a try. So at least I try to do all the things, and if I fail, or if I find out that that wasn't for me, then let that be that. But I would rather have tried and found out the latter than not have tried at all.
Awesome. Now, your father is a Chicago well-known blues musician, and his name is Syl Johnson. And I'm assuming that is where your name comes from, correct?
This is correct.
What was it like growing up in a musical household?
Well, I think it was three of us. So it was me, Celette, and Celicia. Mm-hmm. My mother was very late.
Celicia's not here tonight.
She's not here tonight.
I thought she was
She's in New York. But my mother was very lazy. So she just said, oh, your name is Syl. Celette, Celicia, Syleena. There it is.
There's a lot of black mothers like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
back then that was in style.
It's a cultural
thing.
It's okay.
And then I turned around and did the same thing to my kids, KJ and Kingston.
The apple don't fall too far.
That's what we do.
Tree.
And my stepson's name is Cat, so everything's a Cat. My father, subconsciously, when I think back about, my household and growing up in music, when you're a child, you're not thinking about it being different because that's all you know. I vividly remember sitting in front of my father on the floor. We had this inside patio room, and he would run scales all the time on the guitar. He would run these blues scales all the time. And so when I have different runs, how you do runs and you be trying to, you find yourself doing those runs. And that's where they came from. And I guess I attribute my soul and bluesy kind of, way that I come across a record to him and to the guitar. I always say that the guitar is my favorite instrument. So my father played the guitar, he played the harmonica, there were musicians all the time. My piano teacher was his piano player from the road, So our entire family, the entire household was filled with music all the time. If he wasn't playing something, it was a disco downstairs in the basement. He had a studio in the basement. That was when it was old school with the things that went like this. And so I would take
reels.
The reels.
The real thing.
And you had the cord, and the cord was
reel.
all the way to the thing. So I would, act like I'm singing and stuff with the little microphone and stuff like that. But my dad told me to shut up, because I would sing around the house, and he would be like, "Shut up! You can't sing. Be quiet." And I used to think he was very crazy and mean. But he told me later on in life that he would be on the phone with record execs, and they would be, "Who is that? Who is that? Who is that?" And he said, he didn't want me to be in the industry because at that time it was so dirty. I mean, it ain't changed. Trust me.
I believe that.
But I think that really, I wrote a question down specifically about that because I was curious what were the first lessons he really kind of relayed to you about the music industry, not necessarily about music itself. I mean, he's a musician, I'm sure you were exposed, but what were some of those things? I'd love to know even, for my own children, just what were those first things he told you? Interestingly
enough, my dad wasn't really a sit down, talk to me dad. He was like a coach. So it wasn't a very loving, "Oh, you know what, I don't want you to do this." I don't understand what a daddy's girl is. I don't know the meaning of a daddy's girl. My dad would just be like, "Don't do that, and stop going over there." Or if I was on stage, "Don't be doing all that talking, get off the stage." Like, that's how he would talk to me. So I would be down to the
Football
stage
coach
like,
style.
Yeah. My father wasn't on no, "Well, you know what, baby, this is what you do." He was on some old, "Stop all that screaming and stop," that's how he would talk to me. So I learned lessons like, okay, don't do a whole lot of talking, okay, when you're on stage. Things like, don't let nobody bring you no water with the seal broken on it. That's how he talk. I gotta get you how he talk.
That's some good ass advice.
Listen.
If it's what got the seal broken, don't drink
You
it.
better listen to your daddy.
These were my lessons, okay?
Come on, Seal.
Yeah, so Seal, but I learned from watching him. My dad was an amazing, electrifying performer. And I mean, I would watch him because I used to sing background for him too, and I would watch him and just be like, wow. So I would take things that way and just see how he dealt with his band and how he talked to them and how they respected him and different things like that. So just kind of watching him move, I learned how to, he told me to he didn't really tell me, he kind of showed me as an artist, when you come into a room with a band for the first time, you have to immediately be able to know notes. You have to immediately be able to tell them, no, it's this and that, because musicians are very, very cocky at times. You know what time it is. And they'll test you to see where you are with your singing and with your talent and stuff like that. And being a woman, it was difficult because they always be like, they always feel like, we play instruments, you just sing. That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So I would watch my father cuss them out. I'm talking about for the old and new, and just be like, "It's C sharp to D. Oh, man." That's how he would be playing. And I would just be thinking, okay, I gotta learn, and I still don't be knowing those. I just be like, it's this, it's that. I don't know what it is, But I mean, the things that he taught me, I visually watching him move and just being relentless at everything that he did. He was like a hustler to the core. So he taught me how to never give up and just be consistent with everything that I did.
Well, he clearly gave you a lot of great lessons, and it puts you on a journey and a path through your own career that you've made some great strides in. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to title your first 4 records, I believe, Chapters of Your Life.
You guys got some dope questions. Jesus Christ. I had to really think and stuff. Okay, well, most people don't know about me that before I started finding my voice, that I was a writer, that I would write poems and I would write plays, and I was like an introvert, and I would stay in my room while my sisters were out playing and stuff. I would lock myself in a room, and not really locked, but I would just be in the room with the door closed writing. And I would be visualizing myself in all these stories and stuff that I would write. I was a writer before I was a singer. And so when I wrote my first album, I was 15 years old, and my dad took me into the studio, and he didn't know how to write because I was helping him with his lyrics as well. He wrote, but not like that, And so I was writing full songs. They were poems, and I would turn them into songs. And so when I started with Jive Records, when I got signed to Jive Records, my vision was synonymous to a book, because inside of a book you consistently have chapters, and as you live your life, you have different chapters in your life. So I wrote from the places that the things that I experienced, and they were chapters. So if I was at this stage in my life, I wrote about this. This was chapter 1. I would call this one chapter 2 and 3. And then with chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, because I was, raised not really sanctified and with the Holy Ghost, like some of us, where we couldn't even wear pants down to the church. But I was raised in the church, so to speak. And so I made the titles fit the journey of the Bible. So like chapter 1 is love, pain, and forgiveness. When God was upset with Satan, he cast him down. Satan caused pain. He loved him anyway, cast him down to earth and forgave him. And then chapter 2 was the voice. So when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, they heard the voice of God. They used to hear him speak, So what happened after that? She ate the apple. Chapter 3, the flesh. She allowed the flesh to take over.
Go on, deep,
you feel
Syleena.
me? So this is where I got kind of my titles, like for myself, but I didn't want them to think that it was gospel, because I feel like gospel is bringing the good news, and it shouldn't have to be whether it's this genre or that. So then chapter 4 was what? Labor pains. After she ate the apple, God cursed her with labor pains, and then the man had to work the earth, And then chapter 5 is David and Goliath, and so forth and so on. So I just kind of took stories from the Bible and kind of made them synonymous to my life, because the Bible is the handbook of our life.
Wow. Yes, y'all should most definitely applaud that. That is really, I've never actually heard that story before. I watched a few interviews with you.
People don't ask, That's why I try to tell you. For Teen Snapped, he asked a question that made me have to talk about that.
We talked really in the very beginning of the interview about all the many things that you've done in your career. And, we could talk extensively about your music, but I want to make sure we talk about so many of the other things that you've done. In the recent years, your visibility obviously has kind of shot through the roof because of having been on television. And I really, that was it was a bit of a roller coaster. Reality TV can be a very tough genre. Yes, it can. And for people who have a certain level of integrity, it can be almost impossible. I'd love to know, what are 3 of the things you feel like you've gained from having chosen to be on reality TV? And what are 3 things that make you maybe not want to do it again?
Y'all questions. These questions. Okay, well, these are good questions, though. The first, you said 3 that I've gained. 1, I learned inside of the moment, like let's just take R&B Divas, for example. I learned inside of that moment that I wasn't all the way ready. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't all the way, I wasn't all the way, clear.
Right.
I wasn't at my levels as a woman. My EQ was very low. My emotional quotient was very low.
So some of y'all gonna
Emotional quotient?
My emotional quotient. And, that's when you're not catching your signals coming down from the Lord. That's when the Holy Spirit just ain't working out. It just ain't. You're not getting. It's not connecting. So, my emotional quotient wasn't where I thought it was. I would look at the other reality shows and be like, they ain't gonna never do that to me. They ain't gonna never say that to me. They ain't gonna never get me out of my character. I ain't gonna never do. And I realized that when you're put in predicaments that aren't normal, your behavior can be abnormal unless you refocus and get centered. But who was really kind of doing that at that moment? I really wasn't. So that's one of the things. These are the things that I've learned that are good for me. The visibility was great for me, and what else? The fact that I had to move to Atlanta, that was probably the best thing that I've ever done. I needed to get out of Chicago. I love Chicago, but we get so stuck in our place that we don't go out in the world and be out in the world. It's a big old world out here, So it forced me to have to move, which was probably the best thing that I've ever done. It was great for my kids, the school systems, and I wanted to have friends in the industry. Now, this is something I don't talk about either. I before I moved to Atlanta, I'm an introvert. People think I'm an outrovert, but I'm really an introverted outrovert, which means that because of my career, I have to be an outrovert. But the true tea is, if I was not a recording artist, I'd be down to the house watching TV and Netflix, and I would never come outside. And I would just eat and just come outside to see what they doing and then come back.
To see what they doing.
Just to see what they doing.
What y'all doing?
What the
I'm
people
going
doing?
back in the house.
And they ain't hitting on shit. Okay, let me go back in. So I'm an introverted outrovert. So for me, but I always wanted friends in the industry because I didn't have, my sisters don't sing. So I'm it. It was just me and my daddy and all his sisters and uncles, because my uncle Jimmy Johnson, he's a guitarist and singer, and then Mac and all of them, my father's sisters all sang in a choir, but I didn't know any of them. So it was just me. So I yearned for women in the industry like Asia, to have friends to be able to talk to about stuff that only we know. Friends, talk about these promoters, talk about these bands, talk about this city, what happened when you went down to this city, what they say, or how you balancing these kids, girl, let me tell you, a girl, I'll be about to cry every time I leave, I just had no one to bounce things off of. So coming to R&B Divas gave me that for a minute. Yeah. Now the 3 things that I lost, those friendships.
Isn't it wild?
That was first.
That's.
And it's tragic, low key. It's tragic because I came there eager to forge this bond with 4 of the women that I had been watching be amazing and successful and go through and be so talented and beautiful and go through the same things that I had gone through. And I was so eager to connect and talk to them and sing with them and tour with them and move with them. But that wasn't the case, not because they were bad people, but because it was never designed for us to have that. So that was heartbreaking. Number 2, how short-lived it was. And the fact that it wasn't about, number 3 is the fact that it wasn't about the music. I signed up for it to be about the re-revealing really of R&B music. And I was sad because it didn't.
Because R&B was in the title.
Yes, it was. Hello, somebody, and everything
about it, huh?
has, derived from that. And so R&B Divas, women touring together, showing that camaraderie, wouldn't that have been powerful and amazing?
Yes, very.
So
now you got to produce
these are
that.
sad. I be trying, but see, the people be real crazy, and that's why
I already know it.
just be me,
I already know it. Look, Syleena, I want to do this. There's an elephant in the room, but I definitely wanted to make sure that we did not crowd your interview with too much of this. And that is, that R. Kelly was a big part of your career in the beginning. And, he's in some trouble these days. And we just wanted to ask you 2 questions about that. And one of the questions was, what is your takeaway at this time outside of his musical contributions, which can't be denied, of course, about what's happening with him?
Well, I absolutely hate talking about it, obviously. Sure. He used to be my friend, and I know that he did all these terrible things. This is what he's being accused of. This is what's going on. It is what it is. You tripping. What you've done is unacceptable. It cannot be accepted. It's absolutely ridiculous. And no, I don't believe in it. I don't buy it. What I don't like, though, and here's the thing that's getting on my nerve, because men have been off the chain in our industry for a very long time. He just got caught red-handed, okay? And they're still acting a fool down to our industry. What I don't like, what's bothering me the most is not the fact that he's going through what he's going through, because, hey, you made your bed, you got to sleep in it. That's on you. But what irritates me is if women like me, Monica spoke out, different women that say, they don't agree with it, they don't side with it, and they were connected to him in the past, women come at us and call us names and dog us. That's what's going on right now. And so that for me is like, really? You're protecting a person that you have seen. Well, let's say none of it is true. Let's say none of it is true. Alone, you cheated on your wife. That's by yourself. By yourself. Let's say everybody lied on you, everything was terrible. Drea Kelly came on the show and talked about her story. You don't believe her? She was his wife. So with that, just that little piece alone, how can you go at other people for having their own opinion and their own feelings about what it is? And another thing that I see a lot happening is that there are no men ever attacked. Tank did a whole post about how he was denouncing them, he wasn't fooling with them, everything. Nobody said nothing to him. But when women say stuff, we get dogged, called names. People say things like, you just
and
trying to get some shine.
Other women?
By women and men, and men. Oh, men have a whole, I don't know where they come from, though. I don't know what they even, why y'all doing what y'all doing? That's dumb. That ain't gonna get you no love.
Do you think that, one of the things, is kind of a big deal within black music that kind of has been skated around?
Come on, tell it, Asia, tell it.
Do you really think that black music as a whole can even survive a thing like a major call out? Because, I know there's a lot of misunderstandings between, we won't get too deep into it because this is about you, about Me Too versus Time's Up. Time's Up is something that I think a lot of people confuse. Time's Up was something where people in Hollywood were literally saying, this person did something to me. Yeah. Whereas Me Too is about just an acknowledgement amongst victims.
Of going through it.
Saying, hey, I have also experienced what you experienced. Yeah. Now, Time's Up, in the black industry, that has not happened. And there's a lot of that going on. And I don't know, do you think that the industry could really survive something like that? That would be massive.
Well, can our people really survive something like that? First of all, we have to go first on black people. We have to start fixing the infrastructure of what's going on with our own culture, just period. The industry will follow along. The industry will fix itself because music is the soundtrack of our lives. We're always going to need it, and we're gonna need it from us. You feel me? But what we have to do is start being accountable with each other. Men and women. And we need men, strong, amazing men, to be able to help lead that charge. You feel me? And I was telling a young lady the other day, I was talking about slavery. Like if you go all the way back to slavery and just take black women, black people, white people, whatever. If you take the white woman, she was inside the house chilling. While white man was, I don't know what his work was, getting on our nerve. That was his work. But the white woman was down to the house. We were nursing her babies. Our children were her footstool, and she barely had to lift a finger. She walked around in petticoats all day. Black women were out in the fields with you. We were alongside you, working and getting beaten like you, having to go through everything that you went through. Our black men were dismembered, beaten, raped, and we were the same. Hung, dismembered, beaten, raped. Being a woman did not matter when you were a black woman back in that time. So with that being said, and having that PTSD, and having that be the infrastructure of your history, and how we was in it together then, we still in it together now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that there can't be interracial relationships. I'm not saying that you can't find love and that you can't, marry outside your race and all that, because love is love. I don't care about what nobody say. But in this day and age, especially, if somebody's gonna love on you, then you love them back and go on about your business. But when it comes to black people, black women and black men, we have to understand that I was there with you. We're in the trenches together. So I need you like you need me. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be working together to be stronger. If we can fix that, then we can fix anything.
And that's a great segue into one of your current projects, and certainly there's a few things we want to talk about as well, but I want to talk about it now because of what you just said. You have an amazing record called Woman.
Oh, yes, right. And you're going to do it tonight, too.
And you are going to do it tonight. So you guys, this is going to be a fabulous treat. Is part of what you're saying now the reason why you decided to write that record, or was there a specific moment of inspiration that came before you did that?
Part of what I said, but also to what you said, Me Too and Time's Up, and being on the other side of the couch. All our lives, we have been on this side. You know what I'm saying? Us as artists. So it's not that we're not privy to what's going on. It's just that it isn't our focus. Our focus is to discuss who we are in the midst of what's going on when we're on the other side of the couch. But when you're on this side of the couch, there's a level of research that goes a step further. And so when you know better and you know more, you have to do better and more. So now when I write a record, it comes from a holistic point of view, a holistic perspective, because now I know more than what I should, and I feel like, and then just two, I'm catching my levels. I'm 42. So now, my EQ is kind of high. So I done worked on my EQ and then turned up a couple of knobs, And so now I'm a little more settled in who I am and what I think about and what I say. You know what I'm saying? I can stand 10 feet tall in it and be cool with it, when before you care so much about what people think and say. So now you have a responsibility, and as artists, our superpower is to portray our emotion and feelings that's maybe somebody else doesn't have the words to do, but we do it through music. And so as a woman, being on a panel of all African American women, the things that we have to report be about us. And we're sitting there and have to take it. We have to watch a police officer throw a black woman on the floor, breasts fall out of her shirt, and then we have to talk about it. And when we really just want to cuss the whole time, we just want, this motherfucker, I can't believe this, But we can't do that because we down to the TV. Yeah. So I can do it in my song, though.
And you can do it on here.
I can do it on here. But I can't do it on TV, so I put it in my music because that's our superpower.
That's how we do it.
Well, since you put it in the music, we want to hear the music. Unfortunately, we're running a little long, and unfortunately, because we're not on TV, we don't have no commercials, so we can't stop and go. But we really, really appreciate you coming today. We love you very much, and we wish you continued success with the new project once it drops. And we want everybody to be checking for Syleena Johnson's new music, if you're not already, and for the Sister Circle on TV1 in the mornings. At what time?
Yes. It comes on weekdays at 12 Eastern on TV1.
TV1.
I also, before you go, just want to mention this really quickly as well. you look fantastic.
Thank you.
We know that you are also pursuing...
Your look of the day be popping on
Exactly. Your look of
Instagram,
the
too.
day is popping. Your body looks amazing.
Thank you.
And we know that you have ventured into the fitness world.
Yes.
You've done an exercise program as well.
Yes, I have a digital workout called Mommy's Got Soul. It's on my website, ShyleenLife.com, but I'm currently training for my first fitness figure competition.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Well, get it,
I'm so
Syleena.
glad that you mentioned that because you look so good, and not only do you look good, you look like a real woman. Like, I mean, like, not that nobody doesn't, but the point is that sometimes a thicker body is not always appreciated in that same way. And the fact that you're competing in this body, in that beautiful, curvy body,
Thank you,
means
Angel.
everything to those of us, you know, with the curvy curve.
Yes, ma'am, and that's why I'm doing it.
She said it so good, don't you agree?
Yes. And one more quick thing, only because we did run out of time. I also want to tell you this. I very much admire how you advocate for your child. I've noticed online that you do a lot of advocacy work around autism awareness, and I want everyone to make sure that they support whatever you are doing around this work. I think it is yet another amazing thing that you do as a woman and a mother. I wanted to say to you to your face in front of all of these people, I have greatly admired you as a human being beyond
She gonna
what
make
you
me
do
cry.
musically.
Gonna take me out, Angel.
And I think that it is amazing what you do, and more people should pay attention to it. But I love that you keep it going, moving, and rocking no matter what. Ladies
Thank
and
you,
gentlemen.
Asia.
Miss
And that's how black women support black women.
Johnson.
Do you want me to just do the one song? I can just do the one?
No, girl, no.
I was just saying, I know the time. Look at the people. You better sing. Well, y'all, you know I be liking men. I be liking y'all a lot. But this song was written, you weren't in mind. Actually, you were in mind, but you weren't in the mind that you would have wanted to be in. This was probably one of my biggest records. It's called Guess What? Listen, baby, I don't see no rings on these fingers, so I'm not gonna deal with your drama. Long as you're with me, you gotta show respect. Get out and get a job, bring home a check. See, I will love you till the day I die, but never love you enough that I'ma live a lie. So 3 steps up, 3 steps down. Wanna be treated like a king, you gotta wear the crown. Wanna play the boss, y'all say, guess what? You got to pay the cost, show up, show up. Wanna wear the pants, guess what? You got to be a man, show up. Hanging out with your friends, guess what? And watch what time you come in, show up. Don't wanna pay no bills, guess what? I know somebody who will. Now we've been shacking up since 93. I ain't getting no younger, I need some guarantees. The best years of my life is what I'm giving you. Argue, fuss, and fight, seems that's all he do. And us going to church, always in his plans. But come Sunday morning, he plays sick in bed. See, I will love you till the day I die, but never love you enough to live a lie. So 3 steps up, 3 steps down. Wanna be treated like a king, you gotta wear the crown. Wanna play the boss, sing, y'all. You got to pay the cost, y'all sing. You wanna wear the pants, sing. Guess what? You got to be a man, sing. Yeah, hanging out with your friends. Then watch what time you come in. Don't wanna pay no bills. We know somebody who will. Oh. We need to address them, baby. I need you to understand that I've got needs too. Yeah. We put up with your childish games, yeah. Yeah. Wanna be treated like a king, then wear the crown. Wanna play the boss, sing, y'all. You got to pay the cost, sing. Show up. You wanna wear the pants, sing. Guess what? You got to be a man, sing. Yeah. Hanging out with your friends. Watch what time you bring your punk ass in. Don't wanna pay no bills. We know somebody who will. You heard me for the last time. It's time to tell you what's on my mind. Always ripping, running these streets. Well, I found someone that's gonna take care of me. Nothing but lies coming out your mouth. Might as well go back to your mama's house. And you've been messing around, yeah. And now it's time to put his ass down. Ladies, 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 hey. Tell me, can you feel me? Hey. Ladies, let me see your hands. Come on. Yeah. Tell me, can you feel me? Show up. Ladies, 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 guess what? Tell me, can you feel me? Show up. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Guess what? Tell me, can you feel me? Yeah. Hold on. Can you feel me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's an oldie but goodie. Never gets old. But this last song I want to sing for you guys is I don't want to hold up anybody's time, especially Bobby V, because that's my boy, and I need to hear his cuts. He got some jams. That's my boy. This next song is a song that Fatine was talking about. This song is called Woman. And it's the title track off the album. And lyrically, I just said whatever the hell I want. So don't be offended, unless you are. Then you'd have to be. But just remember, a hit dog hollers. Listen, I'm a lover, fighter, writer, sister to the game, a survivor, a thriver. God damn it, I'm a leader, believer in anything else that is needed. I meet it, yet and still I'm disrespected, disregarded and rejected. But if you wanna go deep, gotta dig 6 feet. Even coal miners got a plan. Yeah, woman. But act harder than a man. Show love like a woman. But take advantage like a man. Sacrifice like a woman. But tell lies like a man. If you want to make America great again. Listen, time's up, rise up. They got you fucked up, girlfriend, me too. Turn the voices up, put their ass on mute. Trying to kill our babies, raise your hands, don't shoot. We're powerful and protective. An attitude, but it's effective. And if it's a man's world, then the world is yours. Cause the woman gave birth to the man.
You gotta think
like a woman, but act harder than a man. Yeah. But take advantage like a man, sacrifice like a woman, but tell lies like a man. If what? If you want to make America great again. Oh, let me talk. Want the same work but want to give less pay. Won't give us a raise unless our backs we break. Pay to see us stripped and call us hoes and bitch. Throw us on the ground and say we asked for it. A blessing and a curse that we live each day. Won't give us a raise unless our backs we break. Pay to see us stripped and call us hoes and bitch. Throw us on the ground and say we asked for it. Ain't that a bitch? Think like a woman, but act harder than a man. Yeah. But take advantage like a man. Yeah. Sacrifice like a woman. Tell lies like a man. What? If you wanna make America great.
Syleena Johnson. Syleena Johnson.
Y'all know y'all want to dance a little bit in the aisle. You know it.
Incredible woman.
So earlier tonight, a beautiful bouquet of flowers arrived. And it came all the way down here to the front. And we teased a little bit about whoever was receiving them. But little did we know that these here flowers came for the beautiful Miss Syleena Johnson. Well, Mrs.
Come get your trough of flowers.
And I just wanted to make sure that the young lady in the front who wanted to present them to you got an opportunity. Listen, these is black rules. We're going to take a second. You hear me?
I love her. And I am so proud of her. I am, for your accomplishments. And I love you, and keep on pushing and being hungry and eating it all up, baby.
Y'all give it up.
Word up.
Again, guys.
Woman.
Beautiful flowers for a beautiful woman.
She's doing it like a man.
Hey.
Woman. Woman. What?
Y'all give it up for Syleena Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Download that. It's tonight. Download
deal.
that woman tonight.
Real deal.
So you can listen to it in the morning. You know you want to get ready for work and listen to that woman, ladies. Shit, I want to listen to it.
Was that amazing or what, ladies and gentlemen?
Syleena Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Syleena Johnson.
Come on. Come on.
Chi-Town heats it up.